So let's take a look at how to write a simple CTE query. So what I have is a test database here that I've set up called CTE demo, and in that I've got a couple tables. One's called royalty that has a bunch of the British royal family, and it has some numbers in there that identifies who their mother and fathers are. And then we have a table called departments, which is departments from like an outdoor store that has camping and cycling and snow sports. And it's a hierarchy here in that you can see that some of the departments have a parent. So under the Department of Camping, with an ID of 1, here's the ID of 1 that references tents, backpack, sleeping bag, and cooking are all part of the camping department. We'll just take a look at what we have in the departments table. Select star from departments. And there are 17 departments listed there. Some of them have a parent listed, and some of them are top-level departments that don't have a parent. Then we'll take a look at what's in the royalty table, which we'll use a little bit later. But in here we have a number of British royal family and who their mother and fathers were through the sort of family tree structure. Okay, so let's first start by taking a look at a derived table. Now, what a derived table is often referred to as a subquery. So we're starting out with a select statement, and inside of that select statement, instead of selecting directly from a table, we're selecting from a subquery that references a table. This subquery is referenced as an alias of just DEPT for department, and then we're selecting from that. That's really useful when you want to do other things or calculations on the data that's coming back. Bit silly the way it's represented here because it doesn't really give any value beyond selecting what's on the inside, but it's sort of building the foundation for what we're going to do here with the CTE. So the common table expression equivalent of what this select statement does is shown here, where we have with a semicolon in front of it, just to be safe, department CTE. We call out the columns that are going to be returned, and that is optional, those columns, as, and then we have inside of parentheses our query that's the CTE query, and then we select from that department CTE. And when we run this, we get similar results to what we saw in the derived table query above. So what happens if we don't have that semicolon at the beginning of the CTE? Here's an example that shows multiple statements. Select star from departments, and then there's no terminating semicolon on that, and then it leads right into the CTE with the with statement. When we run that, we get an error message that's incorrect syntax near department CTE. And then recently, Microsoft in the newer versions of SQL Server has updated the error messaging, and they've said if this is intended to be a common table expression, you need to explicitly terminate the previous statement with a semicolon. Well, it used to be on older versions of SQL Server that it simply said syntax error without all this extra detail that makes it easy to see what's going on there. So just a reminder, keep in mind if the CTE is not the first statement in the batch, it must be preceded with a semicolon, either at the beginning of the CTE or at the end of the previous statement.